Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna do top 10 issue number 4 from America's Best Comics. So yeah, we're gonna continue the series. This is basically a filler issue, and that's not bad. I mean, there is some filler issues that I think it's entertaining. This is one of them, in my opinion. There's some bad ones too. So don't expect big revelations, but it moves the plot a little bit forward. So if you are interested in this story and you want to know more, stick around and we're gonna find out together, right? So, okay, let's dive in. Because in the last issue, we have, this version of Godzilla terrorizing people. So we have this cop, inspector, agent, I don't know, he's a top tier guy or something. He leads the bunch here. And he's tried to talk with Godzilla, right? And he says, hey, are you in your right mind? Are you feeling okay? And we see, he says, top of the world, man. And so he says that he wants his son back, right? And he's drunk, and because his boy Ernesto, he says, quit harassing him. Monsters are human too. He says, Gogra, this is exactly helping Ernesto's case. And he says, aren't you under some kind of a restraining order, right? And then he says, and then he pukes. But then this woman comes up to inspect the dog guy, there's a lot of people in here, so forgive me if I don't know all the names. And he says, hey, I need you to look after this. And he says, I have a situation outside. And then she's feigning, and it's her finger. What? Her finger's been cut off. So, he did some puking, and he's apologizing, right? So, it's Captain Jetman. So Captain Jetman is coordinating people what to do. He says, Dwayne, get a team dose to hose down the north end of Pike Street and use chemical foam. The boss probably radioactive. He says, you, Irma, and Gil want evacuate that building before it collapses, right? And so he's saying, hey, I'm Steve Trainer. I used to be jet lad. I still got my plane in the hangar. Do you remember, Gogra? You remember planes? He says, yeah, I remember planes. Good, that's good. You remember. And the stuff with the planes. We don't want to happen that again, do we? Probably a King Kong reference, right? He says, no. Yeah, okay, that's right. You're doing good. So he's saying, hey, Officer Cheney, do you want to go down to the pathology lab and get Dr. Jessel, right? Inspector Dogman, that's not his name, called Sarge, is dealing with this. And then Robin comes in and he says, hey, this girl just walked in holding a severed finger. And she says, well, geez, okay, better get a tourniquet on the upper arm here. And also, getting the finger into the ice, just in case. And but then Asmax, who is responsible for dad's incarceration, son's incarceration. Incarceration, is that how you say it? So he's bragging a little bit. He says, hey, what's the matter, Gogra? Looking for some of what I already dished out to your boy. So, but then Spectre comes in and says, Asmax, Officer Smax, I want you to get your brainless bulk back inside the station house right now. That's an order, because he is, fueling the flames, if you will, right? And so he recognized him. Is this what he calls guy, the Smacks? And so Smacks going inside. He says, no, he's just some cob. You don't have to worry about him, right? So what I like is that his multiple storylines are running together, right? And intersect with another. I'm going to show you a little bit later, right? So, but then the doctor comes in. And she's doing something, right? And he's just shouting and says, where is he? I'll flatten him. Why, my boy Ernesto? He's a good guy. He's a good boy, right? And then she shrunk him down. I don't know. She's just, shrunk, Micromade. That's her name, right? And so everything is now a little bit quiet down. So earthquakes are gone, right? And this shark guy called Fishman. Fishman, sharks, get it? Anyway, wants to talk to his client. I'm sorry, right? And he also doesn't like this telepathic guy, right? So he says, we won't use Alexei. There's a mind read here to mind read Martha Wesson. Martha Wesson was the girl that, they find because of that murder that is still going on, right? And he says, sure, go ahead, get Mr. Fishman back to Spielberg's prop department. He's Russian because he's the astronaut guy, right? Or the cosmonaut. So that was a Steven Spielberg Jaws reference. Anyway, he says, all of your people seem very hostile. Yeah, well, that's strange to us. Sharks are a symbol of universal benevolence. That's probably a snark, by the way. Anyway, so they want to know more about the killer because the killer killed her boyfriend that did some, dealing, right? So, and she is basically confessing, which Mr. Fishman doesn't like, but she says that Gromolko, that blew his brains out in the first issue, I believe, wanted Steph, who is now dead, to deliver something special to a client. Now, I spare you all the details, but let's say they have a lead and they go to Chemicals and Light Me in some kind of a rave joint. So S-Max and Robin are on the case, and hey, remember this fat guy, from the last issue that broke this woman's ribs? Yeah, that was fun. Like I said, there's some storylines intersecting. So the main story is about that murder, right? And then we have all these stuff with, in this case, he's a suspect of murder because they think he's the murderer, which he's not, but he's a suspect, right? So they're doing some police stuff here. I like that. And we have, of course, the Gojira, thing. But, the main quest is still, the murderer. But also, we have now a new quest, which has, so she repaired basically a Minute Maid or Micro Maid, fixed her finger. And now we have a new case because who did it and why, right? And she says the drains. It came out of the drains. I wonder what it is. So, well, S-Max and the others go to the rave. These people are going to, search the hideout of the girl that they are apprehended, right? So they go to the museum, and it seems that King Peacock here is a devil worshipper. And he's believe in Malakatas. That's basically in his god, his devil, right? And he gets powers from that. And we see all this weird imagery because I believe this is a burned down museum, if I remember correctly. And then he is, I don't know. So the cosmonaut says, what is Detective Kerbo doing? Who, John? He's listening to the statue. He's waiting for it to tell him its strengths and weaknesses. Just give him a moment. And then he is, punching the thing in two. Incredible. Even stones tell you their secrets, eh? All stone is matter. All matter is Malek Taos. Malek Taos talks to me. Right. It's a Middle Eastern Saturn worshipping thing, Alexei. You wouldn't understand. Anyway, so this girl is, she's living in poor conditions, right? So they are looking for some clues here, and there is some kind of a toolbox here because they are thinking that drugs is maybe that thing that needs to be delivered, but that's not the case because the cosmonaut says, bad, this is very bad. This is some kind of a psychic trademark, a glow. I have seen it before. We must get out here immediately. He says, Alexa, what are you talking about? He says, where have you seen this effect before? At Chernobyl. What? You mean that dope or whatever it is, it's radioactive? Yes, very radioactive. We cannot safely retrieve it. So they are calling for backup, for people that are mostly vulnerable, like S-Max or Robin with her toys, right? And but they are here at the rave, and they hear some music. So they think there's some rave going on, but actually it's pretty empty. So S-Max using his powers, right? And see how people here, I don't know, not dead, but unconscious. And they're all going to book him, right? Because it's easy picking. And so I don't know what the clue is here, but it seems that there are some kind of a lead about something. So, well, they all book these, I believe, an illegal rave, right? And so we go now to, the aftermath of, Golgra or So he says, and Esther, we're dropping the charges against you on one condition, that you take your father back to Monster Adel before we can enlarge him. So there's some screaming and backfighting here, which I like. I like the aftermath repercussions thing. So the story, although it's a little bit slow here, but that's deliberate. And I think every storyline that's been mixed here is, for me, interesting, right? Because it's not some kind of a throwaway story. It has actually is going from one issue to the next issue to the other issue with, a conclusion. So this fat guy is now being shrunk down, and they are going to take some tests, blood tests, because they are, like I said, thinking that he's the murderer, which he's not. So this girl is phasing through the floor, and I like this, that she's come from one panel to another. And she says, hey, Kathy, what's up? Alid, for the first time, we found someone who survived meeting the Libra Killer. Mean Annette Neural Net Duval. And basically, she's a hooker. And he says, I don't know what people think. I saw what I saw. It came out the drain, and it was like purple candy floss. It sliced off Mr. Voss' finger, she says. And she's very distressed, and she can, use her neural powers or whatever. And she looked around, and it came from, the sewers, I guess. Candy floss, purple candy floss, all the little strands coming out of the drain. I put my hand up like to protect me, and my finger falls off. I didn't even feel it. And purple candy floss? Are we talking extraterrestrial here? Could be. All right, so a new case. So they are going to where this place is. Everybody goes. Well, not everybody, but a couple of cops. Right? And, this is the sewer where they find the purple floss, and they are really thinking that's probably an ET, an extraterrestrial, aliens, right? That leads us to the next issue. So the cliffhanger is not that interesting, but like I said, this is a filler. It moves the story forward, and we're going to do, everything. We're going to take a look at issue 5. So guys, let me know what you think about this. Does this interest you? Want to see more? Leave a comment below. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you next time. Bye-bye.